Right now, though, we do want to get some more analysis, especially how hard this is going to be to prove that Terry Sanderson suffered these types of injuries that he claims that he suffered. Let's bring in now to the program sports injury doctor, Dr. Dan Severino. We appreciate his insight into this story. He has been watching this as well. Doctor, thanks so much for being with us. My first question to you is, this happened in 2016, 7 years ago. And they're talking about injuries, the nature and extent of which that Sanderson claims he suffered, fractured ribs, a concussion, what have you. This was 7 years ago. How are they going to present all of this?
Well, it's very hard. I mean, just remembering what happened 7 years ago is difficult. But, I mean, at this point, everything I've been watching, it's he said, she said. And I don't doubt that he sustained these injuries, but it's who is at fault. I mean, from what I've seen, either way, I mean, he certainly could have hit her from behind, and just the angle and the twisting, he still could have landed, and she could have landed on top of him, and he could have broken his ribs and still had that concussion. So again, I don't doubt that the injuries were there. I don't know, the fault is again a he said, she said thing right now.
Yeah, but if you are trying to determine if someone has suffered a concussion, is that a heavy lift, or is it pretty straightforward?
No, I mean, a concussion, obviously, at the time, well, sometimes they don't even present right away. It could even take a day or two sometimes for a concussion to present. There's a lot of ways to diagnose, testing like an MRI and things like that are typically negative in a concussion. It's more of proper exam, cognitive function testing, memory testing, and things of that nature. So, a person trained in sports medicine or neurology can typically do a good concussion exam.
Okay, so Sanderson is alleging that he has suffered the after effects of this injury for now several years. Is that possible with what he is describing, what his injuries were? Can he feel those after effects, do you think, in your estimation, well after the fact, several years, almost a decade after the fact?
It is possible. It is not very common. So less than 10% of people will get what they call persistent post-concussion syndrome. So post-concussion syndrome is typically anything over 3 weeks to 3 months. And then if that persists more than 3 months, that's considered persistent post-concussion syndrome. So it can happen. It's not, again, it's just not very common that it does.
Okay, and we also heard there from Paltrow on the stand. She said she was somewhat injured in this as well. Her right knee hurt directly after the impact, the collision. So from what we have been watching, it seems like there was this slow-moving collision. It wasn't a direct impact. And then they came and hit the ground, which was kind of more of this secondary impact. And that's where the extent of the injuries, according to Sanderson, occurred there. Let's talk about his other claims. Fractured ribs. Is it hard or easy to tell if someone has those?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, simple x-ray, obviously after the injury, he was probably complaining of that right-sided pain. And, in the ER or urgent care, you can get x-rays and see those rib fractures. I happened to see the part where they showed it the other day, and they were definitely fractured.
Okay, so obviously collisions on slopes when you're skiing, they happen pretty frequently. I'm an avid skier myself. But the nature of what they are describing, you had Paltrow there say essentially he came from behind. His skis went basically in between her skis, and then they came down. Is that, I guess, a customary or frequent type of collision that you've seen in your practice?
I mean, with skiing, that is definitely one way that it can happen. It can be that they come, because a lot of skiing, you're going side to side. So sometimes you kind of hit sideways, but yeah, definitely, if one person's going a little slower and the other person's not paying attention, you can knock into them from behind. Absolutely.
And they were apparently both wearing helmets. Obviously, that is paramount for safety on the slopes there. Does that do anything to their case or their credibility? If they were wearing helmets, they were taking the right precautions, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you could certainly still get a concussion with a helmet. I mean, we see it in contact sports all the time, especially if, he hit the ground hard and hit his head. So it will definitely lessen the blow, but it can definitely still happen.
All right, Doctor, like I said, we're going to continue following this. We have the live stream on our secondary stream, Live Now Fox, there on YouTube, of the proceedings still happening there in court. You're going to be watching this, though. What are you going to be looking for? You watched some of the doctor's testimony. How did you make that out?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they got a little too much into definites and without any eyewitnesses. The one doctor said that basically he said that it was definitely Mr. Sanderson got hit from behind, and I don't think that that's necessarily the case. I mean, depending on the angle of being hit, he could have just gotten twisted and still been the one on the bottom, even if he was the one that actually hit her. So, again, without really seeing what happened, I don't think that there's any way you can definitely say the way the impact happened.
All right, Dr. Dan Savarino, we appreciate your insight into this major story today. We'll talk again. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.